Today I'll be watching my first ever football match at Lesser Hampden, the mini little international stadium that is next to the main international stadium of the country, Hampden Park. It's where Celtic's youth team play their UEFA Youth League games, it's where Scotland train, and it's where Queen's Park still play just about. Apparently it is their last game there this season before they move back to big main Hampden. I'm not quite sure why there's so many moves from season to season. Sometimes they're at Lesser Hampden, sometimes they're at Hampden. All depends on kind of what's going on at both stadiums, I guess. I'm not too sure. I don't quite know what Queen's Park have in store for me today, but we're going to be seeing behind the scenes at the mini international stadium that is Lesser Hampden. Right, here it is, as you can see. And let's check in on Footballogy. This will be my first ever game at this stadium. Right, some serious points to anyone in the comments section who can tell me what is the only other two, I think, grounds in the SPFL that I've scored at before I've seen games at. I've obviously scored at this stadium in front of me the other day, quite embarrassingly for the most part, but I've got one or two bangers in there. What are the other two that I scored in before I saw matches at? That's a question for the OGs. There is main Hampden over there. We've seen, I think, 24 games in that stadium, and we haven't seen one in this one. Quite an enigma, this stadium. Gets the people talking. The chandeliers as well, look at these. Opulent, you don't see that at too many championship grounds, do you?
Heated seats as well, quite excited.
Heated seats as well? I don't think I'll be in one of the heated seats today. Are they the only heated seats in Scottish football? So these are the heated seats. I didn't realise they were heated, to be fair.
Just have a seat and press the button.
Which, is it that button? Is that the heated button there, yeah?
I'm Gary Temple. I'm on the board at Queen's Park for a number of years.
And how long have you been associated with the club then?
It's the first going to board in 1999.
Well, okay, right. And such a historic club, I always like to look into
Absolutely.
the history.
I've been president, I've been treasurer, and
seen it all.
In the commercial, and I'm Kieran Cosery's boy now in the commercial side.
And so what's the kind of story between yourselves being at Hampden, obviously? Queen's Park built Hampden originally. That's correct. It's now owned by the SFA. Yes. You now play here, but now you're going back to Hampden. What's the kind of backstory of it all?
Really, we always wanted to play at Hampden. Hampden was our ground. This stadium was built when we were obviously still in the second division. We have the option to increase the capacity, and we'll maybe look at that later on. But 2 years ago, when we were challenging Dundee for the championship promotion, we actually had to approach the SFA because we could not take Premiership games, so we had to put Plan B in place, and that's how the discussion started about Hampden. There's a willingness on both sides. The fact that Scotland's now trained here, and I mean,
and like Queen's Park and Scotland have been linked for years. You obviously,
they're playing in our strip.
And exactly, and Queen's Park gave every single player to the first ever Scotland game against England back in 1872. Yeah, that's right.
3rd of November.
Yeah.
St Andrews Day.
Yep, on Western Scotland Cricket Ground, right? Correct. So there's always these links and stuff, and it's interesting that it continues to this day. But you talk about the capacity. There's what, 900?
But 980 here.
And it'll be a sellout for today. But you think that maybe if you had a bigger capacity, there'd be more away fans coming to games?
Morton have a good travelling support, as do Thistle, Dunfermline, right through the league. There's teams with a good travelling support. So, you know, you're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 against Thistle. You really want to play that at the stadium.
Yeah, exactly. But where would you potentially be able to put a new stand? Would it be
both
behind
sides.
that goal? Behind
both
that?
Sides.
Oh, okay.
Temporary stands behind both goals.
Interesting.
Again, we're costing it and seeing the feasibility of it. It's a big investment.
And so, heated seats aside, what is the best part about this stadium in your?
The best part is the surface.
It's
the surface is fantastic. The hybrid surface is magnificent. Queen's Park from day one have always played the passing game, and this really suits our style. Quick,
we need to run downstairs and make our way to the tour. If you're doing a hospitality day at Queen's Park, you get a tour of the stadium pre-game. But look, typically it's absolutely pissing down as per usual. I like that at this new multi-million-pound facility, they still have the away changing rooms labelled with a piece of A4 paper, keeping it real. Yeah, we got some good facts about Queen's Park as we stood out in the rain. Like, did you know they invented the crossbar, for example? And just look at the state of that pitch. It is smoother than my soonest small talk. You must have played at a few junior grounds in your time. Scottish Yeah, that was awkward. Anyway, look, as you can see, there's a geezer on the tour who's actually having his stag do. We went into the changing rooms, which are apparently modelled on the Man City ones. They're similar to the Spurs ones as well. But we've got some good facts here about why Queen's Park moved to this facility. Apparently, the SFA were going to move all their Scotland operations to Murrayfield, which is the rugby stadium in Edinburgh, so they had to sell the stadium because of that to the SFA. And we also got talked through why Queen's Park actually went professional because of the opening up of the pyramid system. If they were still amateur, maybe they'd have got relegated and they'd have never come back. Right, time for the best part about hospitality. A huge thanks to Queen's Park for hooking me up. I had a 0% beer as per usual, as we like to do on these. Got some nice soup there beforehand, as well as some chicken and a haggis bonbon. You cannot go wrong with some haggis and some chicken, let me tell you. Service was great as well. The staff were really, really nice. And the piece de resistance was the cheesecake. Absolutely sensational. And not something you'd usually have at the football. Then I didn't realise we'd be doing this until the day, but I got up on the mics. I've seen a game here at Lesser Hampden before, so it's interesting. How's it been for you here so far?
It's, you know, no one's asking me a question before doing this. Okay, I do two jobs here. I'm the match announcer and I'm also the hospitality host. Now, you wouldn't believe when I tell you this, but you're out there watching the game today, and when Queen's Park score, and I shout, "Goal, Tom Thomas!" I can't actually see it. I'm in a cupboard doing the announcing, and someone's radioing me up all the information, so I actually prefer to be in Hampden where I can see the game.
So why is there not somewhere for you to be actually able to see the game?
That's a long, long story, mate. I'm not going to That's a long story.
I think he deserves a view of the pitch when he's announcing things. Come on, Queen's Park, let's hook him up. But yeah, it was time to head down. We had to go out of the stadium to go back in, which was kind of unique, but a fantastic hospitality experience nonetheless. Here we go, yeah, so the hospitality was up in that building there, and then you have to actually go out and then come back in. And look at this, the pitch looks so good, but look at the space behind here, the space behind the other goal as well, and that is the only stand for spectators to watch in. And then you have like the director's box over there. It's a big old stand, to be fair, to have only 40 seats in it. But yeah, the facility here is incredible for the football teams, I guess, but from a fan's viewing perspective, I guess there could be one or two things that could be ironed out a little bit. Oxford United v Swansea. Do you always get a couple up there then, watching at least, yeah? Can you see the whole pitch from there? Yeah. Free football. So obviously I'm not going to need any scran because we've had the old hospitality today. Huge thanks to Queen's Park for that. But look, as you can see, this is what they have, and they've got a kiosk. Here on, mate. How's it going? I'm good, how are you? Good, mate. What's your biggest seller? What? What's your biggest seller? What's been selling well?
Probably steak pies.
Okay, nice. Nice. I'll tell people to come and have them. Legend. Cheers, mate. Thanks, man. So yeah, there you go. There's a nice, friendly staff working here as well. And this is where we have the main Queen's Park fans who will stand and sing it during certain points during the game. They congregate up this end. And the away end is all the way up the other end of the stand. It's Morton today. How many rows we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, I think, of seats. And it's an incredible facility. The pitch is just tremendous. And the director's box is nice. It's a lovely place to sit and watch a game, I'm sure. And the hospitality up there is really nice. And it's lovely and clean and fresh. But there's not much variety in terms of like where you can view the game from. Yep, and here's the away end. The Morton fans. 250 away seats, I think, for today.
Hit!
That's Tom Thomas again. I wonder if I'll be recreating that one. Why do you support Queen's Park?
Well, they usually get a choice.
Really, your dad's a Queen's Park fan, yeah, and he's just behind us there. He's the man you got to thank. But what do you think of the new stadium, Lesser Hampden?
It's not big enough for a children.
You think it could be a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Where would you add a new stand? Would you make this stand bigger?
Probably I stand behind the goal.
Behind the goal. What would you change about Lesser Hampden? If you could make one change, what would you do?
Build two temporary stands in the future, Sam.
And what's the best part about Lesser Hampden then?
Need more facilities, more disabled toilets.
You need more disabled, but currently what's the best thing about the place?
The pies are nice, but
The pies are good. Good.
Aye.
But you need more disabled toilets, you say?
Yes.
And you're moving back to Hampden soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you happy about that, or would you rather be here? You're happy?
Better there.
Better at Hampden than it is here. How many years have you been supporting the club?
Since 1982, so that's over 40 years now.
Wow, so you've seen them go from Hampden to
Everywhere,
Lesser Hampden
back-
now,
back
and
in the days
Steny
when
as
I
well,
was
you know.
Professional, everywhere. No, they're home and away most weeks.
So
guys.
would you rather be at Hampden Park, or would you rather be in here?
I'd rather be at Lesser Hampden in a bigger ground. I'd rather be
so
here where I stand behind the goal.
with a bigger
everybody here,
capacity,
'cause
yeah.
we don't own Hampden anymore, so. But while we're in the championship, we don't have the capacity here. We've got to play it and accommodate away support. So.
What's your favourite part about this stadium then?
It's a hard question. I suppose maybe it's a better atmosphere in here than it would be.
So it
at
gets
Hampden.
lost at Hampden, doesn't it? It's too
totally,
big and not enough.
We're all together.
Yeah.
But it's just a wee bit too low. It's not big enough.
Dom Thomas again. We meet again. You're another ground topper like myself. This is your 133rd game of the season.
Game of this calendar
Of this
year.
calendar year, sorry. Yep. So that's quite the amount of games. Have you ever seen one here before?
Never been to Lesser Hampden before, so
First impressions?
it's a new ground. It's a tidy ground. It would make so much difference, even if we put up some terracing behind the goals, just enclose it a wee bit more.
But the facilities compared to other championship teams in terms of, I know maybe you obviously don't see the changing rooms, or maybe you don't see much of the pitches and stuff, but just generally speaking, it's a really well kept ground compared to somewhere like maybe Morton. Morton's got a good pitch, but it's an older ground, do you know what I mean?
I definitely likes the character of Capel, but it's modern. It's got nice facilities at either end of the stand, so it's quite tidy.
If you were a Queen's Park fan, would you want to be here long term, with the view of maybe extending it a little bit, or would you rather just be back at Hampden where you were originally from?
I think for Queen's Park it'd be far better to be in here in a tighter, more sort of compact sort of venue. More sterile than maybe going to Glasgow.
Seems to be a bit of a thing, mate. Every time I see you, there's like sideways rain.
Yeah,
It's happened again. There was a bonus last time.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll probably be the same next time as well.
Yeah, and it's and although like we're in this stand, like you can actually feel the wind like kind of whipping in a little bit here. You can imagine that like in the middle of winter it
Yeah,
could get cold in here.
it's
To be fair.
extremely open here, even
Yeah.
under cover.
It's my first game here at Lesser Hampden today. How do the players enjoy playing on the pitch?
Brilliant. It's one of the best pitches I've played on. I've played on a lot of good pitches, but for me that surface is one of the best, so it helps us the way we play. Like to get the ball down, pass and move, so as you've seen today, it suited us very well.
And the changing rooms as well, they're all nice and you've got great facilities. Are you going to be disappointed to be moving back to Hampden, or looking forward to it?
I'm just happy to be playing football, to be honest. Lucky enough that to do it as a job, so wherever I'm playing I'm happy, and you're moving into the national stadium, so it's not as if you're moving down to the public park. So for me, like just to play anywhere. Great surface in here, great surface at Hampden, so look forward to that.
And another goal for you today as well, and I can see you just taking a piss a little bit with the Morton fans up in the corner. Can you get a bit of an atmosphere at this ground, especially when there's like 900 sort of in there?
Yeah, I think you hear the Queen's Park fans in fine voice, and then you obviously get the abuse for the away fans, and it's brilliant. That's what football's all about for me. They gear it out, we've got to take it back, and I was glad that I had the bragging rights today and gave him a wee bit after the goal.
A few days have passed since I filmed this video, and was it an overall brilliant experience? Yes, it was a really good experience watching a football match at Lesser Hampden. I'd recommend you all do it. But are there one or two things that I would change about it if I had the power to do so? Yeah, of course, I'd add stands behind the goal. I'd maybe added made the existing stand a little bit higher so you get a bit of a better vantage point as well. Maybe having more segregation between home and away fans, maybe more food stalls. I know one of the fans said they want more disabled toilets and things like that. So yeah, as with any stadium in the country, whether that be Celtic, Rangers, Hampden, a lot of people talk about like Hampden Park and the things that change about that. Yeah, there's changes that every stadium should be making to make it better for the match-going fan. And you'd have heard me talk to the fans. It didn't just come from me, all these points. Like, these are obviously, we spoke to some fans during the game. Some are happy to stay at Lesser Hampden. Some want to go back to Hampden. I think it really does depend on the opposition they play and who else is using Hampden at the time. Obviously, Rangers have been using it this season, so Queen's Park have been back into Lesser Hampden. It's all been a little bit messy, but yeah, maybe it's still a work in progress. Maybe they're still going to make changes to the ground. But I know they've had investment. I know that they've had money from the SFA as well for selling Hampden too. So not sure where Queen's Park are along in their journey. I'm sure they'll maybe want to get to the Premiership at some point. But I guess the ground was made for when they were a League Two club, when they had Annan and Peterhead in mind coming there, who would have only brought maybe 50, 100 fans or something. Plus the 500-600 that Queen's Park would have got, and 900 capacity stadium was the ideal size. But now they're a Championship club playing teams like Raith Rovers and Dunfermline and Partick Thistle, who are all going to bring big supports. Even Green at Morton sold out their allocation of only 250 seats. So yeah, they do need somewhere a little bit bigger. Hampden's too big, Lesser Hampden's too small. They need somewhere that's probably right in the middle. But the facilities, the changing rooms, the pitch, the things for the players must just be amazing playing there. But yeah, huge thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A little behind the scenes look at Lesser Hampden. A huge thanks to Queen's Park. I'd recommend you all get down there for a game, particularly the hospitality. Really, really good, and something I'd recommend to you all. I'll leave a couple of videos on screen. The best way that you can help me if you've enjoyed this video and you've got to the end, which I guess you have if you got to the end, is by watching another video. I'll leave one of my further flung adventures on there, as well as a more recent one from Scotland. But yeah, if you could please click on one of these videos to carry on watching, I would really, really appreciate it. Cheers and goodbye.